Hello everyone, Fanta here. You're watching FANTAVISION, and this has to be one of, if not the wildest stories I've ever heard, especially about a fast food restaurant. That's right. We're going to be talking about Panda Express today and something that they didn't force their employees to go to, but they definitely encourage them to go to get promotions. Now, of course, please do hit that like button. It really does help against the evil YouTube algorithm. So what exactly is going on? A former Santa Clarita Panda Express employee has alleged that the seminar that the company pushed her to go to didn't force her to, but ordered her to strip in front of her coworkers. And not only that, but they also encouraged her to open up about all of her vulnerabilities while she's just in her underwear in front of a group of all of her coworkers. Now, this is already bad, but it gets worse. When a male colleague was asked to do the same thing, he broke down and started crying as he was taking his clothes off. And what did the staff tell her to do? They told her to hug it out with him while they were still both basically naked. I mean, this is already the most messed up thing I've heard a seminar tell people to do. Like, this is supposed to be a trust building exercise. It's supposed to help them feel more at home with their coworkers and the people they work with, and somehow this is supposed to make them better people, better employees at a Panda Express. Can we go back to the point that this is a Panda Express thing that these people are sent to go to? I mean, this is something that the company itself is telling the people to go to. Her manager said, if you want a promotion, you need to go to this seminar. And they're stripping their clothes off and talking about their vulnerabilities to a group of 20 to 50 people. Okay. Let's continue because it only gets worse from here. Because this was only one day out of a 4-day seminar that was, quote, more and more resembled a cult initiation ritual as time went on. I don't think a cult initiation ritual is something that you think of when you think of Panda Express. On the very first day of the program, now I want to go ahead and just set the mood here. All of the attendees have their phones removed from them because they're not allowed to have their cell phones. All of the windows in this warehouse, by the way, this all takes place in a warehouse. All the windows are blacked out. All of the doors are blacked out. And there are no clocks in this building. They are told to sit down in isolation with no staff around and just to be quiet. Sit down, shut up. For an hour, they sat there doing nothing as they were told, and a man ran in, screamed at them in Spanish, and then started to individually berate them for not doing anything, despite the fact that they were told not to do anything. Again, this is all, so I don't get sued, this is all alleged. Everything I say is what is in this lawsuit and is allegedly what this Alive Seminars company did. I'm not saying they did it again. I just want to give this disclaimer so I don't get sued by these people because they might be insane. They're allegedly crazy. Allegedly, all of this happened. And I'll get to near the end of why I think I believe everything that has been told. Now, not only were they individually berated, but just like in a cult ceremony, because that's really what this sounds like, is first, I mean, they're ordered to do things, they're blacked out, they don't know what time it is, they don't have any way of contacting the outside world, they are sat alone in isolation, and then they are yelled at, and they're told that they are, quote, nothing, and that they don't matter. Both of these things are commonly used in cult-like initiations to break down these people psychologically so that the cult can mold them any way they want. More psychological manipulation came in the form of the staff members following the attendees to the bathroom whenever they needed to go. And again, somehow this gets worse because somebody requested that they go to the bathroom, which, by the way, they had to ask if they could go to the bathroom. A male attendee said that he was feeling sick, he needed to use the bathroom, and they forced him to throw up in a small bucket in front of everybody. Now, I have thrown up in a large group of people. I've thrown up in front of a lot of people. I had very bad food poisoning in middle school. And we were on a class trip, we were going to the Grand Canyon, and we're on our way back is when people started getting sick, including myself, and we're huddled up all together. They're talking about something, I don't remember, and I basically had to push my way to the center because I couldn't get out of the huddle, and I threw up in front of everybody. Now, this was incredibly embarrassing. Thankfully, my fellow students, they didn't give me shit for it, especially because half of them later were throwing up on the bus ride home. But it's not a good experience to have to publicly humiliate yourself like that, especially when nobody was forcing me to do this. I was just in a situation where I had no other choice. This was a grown adult that was forced by another adult to throw up in front of people. That is just absurd. I want to read this quote off because I think this is an important part to really show you what these people were going through, allegedly, and to just kind of paint a picture of just what is going on here and what the mindset is of the people that are there. Because I know a lot of people are wondering, why are these people doing this? We'll get into that. It is alleged that the atmosphere resembled less a self-improvement seminar than a site for off-the-books interrogation of terror suspects. It continued, stating that the sensory isolation and intimidation was reinforced by constant yelling and verbal abuse by seminar staff, creating an atmosphere of fear in the room. Nevertheless, most attendees, including the plaintiff, felt that they had no choice but to remain because they were sent to this seminar by Panda Express and told their opportunity for promotion would depend on the completion of the seminar. Now, I, myself, and I know many people who have been in situations where money is incredibly tight. I have lived paycheck to paycheck. I know many people that have lived paycheck to paycheck. And these people are in this situation where they need this money to survive. They can't just quit Panda Express right away. They can't just quit this seminar because this is an opportunity for them to alleviate some of that emotional stress that comes along with financial instability. I know a lot of people out there, including myself, are wondering, why would you put yourself through this? Why would you strip in front of all these different people? It's because these people feel like they have no choice. Maybe they have no support. They have no financial support outside of the job that they have. Now, thankfully, I have a family that would support me in this sort of situation. If I explain it to them, look, I got to quit my job because they made me do this and that and the other thing. But a lot of these people don't have that option. So they are feeling not only pressured in this environment of psychological warfare, but by monetary pressures outside of the seminar itself, knowing that they need to go through this to get a promotion and to improve their life as a whole. And that's what a lot of these people came to do at this seminar. The plaintiff talks about how she joined this seminar in hopes of improving her career at Panda Express and making more money because she was only making like $11 an hour in California. So she needed this promotion to help alleviate that financial stress, and she left emotionally broken. Now, going back to what was the final straw for the plaintiff, which was on July 13th, 2019, when she was forced to strip with the rest of them in front of everybody. And not only were they humiliated in having to undress in front of a gathering of people, but a lot of the staff was allegedly staring at the women that were undressed, laughing at them, and supposedly some of them were even taking video of these women that were completely, almost completely undressed, just down to their underwear. During the day of this seminar, and I'm sure during what was going on right here, she told the staff that there was a family emergency and that she needed to leave. So she didn't complete the seminar, and 3 days later, she quit Panda Express. Quote, scarred and downtrodden. If what the plaintiff is alleging is true, now, I want to go ahead and say that she's not the only one that has come out in this lawsuit. This is becoming a class action lawsuit. Other people are joining it, and it seems like they went through the same experience she did. If Panda Express and this Alive Seminars group really do get proven that this actually happened, they're going to be sued for a hell of a lot of money. They really are, because this is just absurd. I mean, it's sexual assault, it's battery. Oh, I mean, you're forcing people to hug and they're not wearing anything. There's so many things wrong with this situation that I would not be surprised if Panda Express never recovers from this if the lawsuit goes through and it is proven that they knowingly sent their employees to this sort of seminar. If more and more people come out with this sort of information about this company, it's going to be big. And another nail in the coffin to Panda Express and their involvement is the fact that I guess their logos were allegedly all over the place in this seminar. All the things they handed out had the Panda Express logo on it. So they knowingly knew what was going on. And even if they didn't know what was going on in the seminar, they're pushing people to go to it. They should know what they're pushing people to do. It is their responsibility to know what they are pushing their workers to go to. And the reason I believe that this is real is because at this point, there's been so many things that I've heard come out that have been real that are unbelievable. I mean, I went through something not this bad, but somewhat similar in middle school. I went to a weird school, and one of the days at school, now this was not a thing that we signed up for, this was a thing that we were ordered to do as students, was to feel like what it is in a third world country. We had to live like we were impoverished. Now, on paper, this sounds great. It helps children understand, okay, you know, there are people less fortunate than me. This is what they're going through. That's great. The fact that you can kind of get into that mind space, that's great. However, we're in middle school, okay? This was not a thing that we were signing up for. And the things that they had us do were ridiculous. First of all, they gave everybody a fake disability and you had to stick with that or you got yelled at. Some people were not allowed to wear shoes that day. And by the way, they also sent us out on like a 3-mile hike in the desert. And yeah, those people that were not allowed to wear shoes could not wear shoes on that hike. For reference, I live in a goddamn desert. There are cactus everywhere. There are thorns everywhere. There are sharp rocks everywhere. And they are making middle school children walk through that with no shoes. They also didn't feed us like the entire day, except for like near lunchtime, they gave us this weird mush that was awful. And they said, that's it. That's all you're getting. And they guarded the vending machines so that we couldn't buy food. Now, I did what she did, and I said, I feel sick. I need to go home. I'm feeling really sick. I gotta go. And I had my mom pick me up, and she took me to Subway so I could eat some real food. Well, it's Subway, so it's not real food, but... And I told her about the situation. She thought it was ridiculous, and a bunch of parents complained, and I'm sure they never did it again. So I know that's not the same as blacking out a bunch of windows and yelling at people, but it seems like this sort of thing has happened before. And my situation, again, was quite similar. And the fact that you wonder who thinks this is a good idea for people to do. Like, how do you not expect to get in trouble for making people go through something like this? I really don't get it. And that's what a lot of people are probably going to say about this story. They're going to say, why would Panda Express do this? Why would Alive Seminars act like this? Because they just think they can get away with it. And that's what a lot of companies think they can do on a daily basis with different policy changes that they make and different things that they do to their employees. The fact that a major corporation is doing something bad is not something that should be surprising anymore. The only real surprising thing is that it's Panda Express out of all the places doing it, and that it's this just horrifying. Honestly, it's to the realm of absurdity. This complaint goes on to even talk about more cult-like things, like turning off all the lights, and then they would hold their phone light up and they would be told to be quiet and act as if like the light was taking away their bad energy. You were just shouting at these people, following them to the bathroom, making them throw up in front of people, making them undress in front of people and talk about their vulnerabilities, and you're trying to relax them now by turning off all the lights in this blacked out warehouse with no clocks with a phone light above them. It's just absurd, all the different things that are in this. And I have to, give this plaintiff the benefit of the doubt. Because even though it sounds like it could be something that's made up, and it could be made up, again, nothing's been proven, from what I've experienced and what I've seen in life, it is definitely possible that this happened. And I look forward to seeing what happens with this story. I hope it unfolds. More details come out. More people come out with their stories. And we find out what actually went on during that seminar. If something like the Fire Festival can happen and go incredibly wrong like it did and be a complete scam and almost kill people, I'm sure something like this can happen. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole situation. Of course, leave a like, it really does help, and subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.